everyone, my name is Thomas. I'm 10 years old. Today I will show you about why does the sun revolve around the earth. For thousands of years, humans believed geocentric model, the idea that earth stood still at the center of the universe, and everything including the sun, moon, and stars revolved around it. That's really strange because the sun you see that it was really small, but actually it was really big. So maybe long ago people saw that and think the sun was small, and also this makes sense to early observe the sky appeared to move, now it does. So because that the earth revolves around the sun and it also spins too, so it makes days and nights. The sun will look like it was going down, up and down. So it was like the earth was just stand still and the sun, everything was moving around us. This makes sense because long ago people stand here and they see that everything is very small. They have a small distance from the sun to earth, so they see things that are very small. And ancient Greek philosophers like Plato created complex models to predict planetary motion using this idea. It wasn't until the 16th century, that's a really long time, 1,000 years ago, and until the 1600th century, that Nicholas Copernicus introduced the heliocentric model. That's a really strange name. Model where Earth orbits the sun, not the sun orbits the Earth. The Earth orbits the sun, a theory after confirmed by Galileo and Kepler through telescope. Galileo used telescope and Kepler used math. But for a moment, let's keep the truth aside. Let's just keep the Earth revolve around the sun and also the moon too. Let's just keep them aside and let's have some fun by exploring the older belief of the sun revolving around the Earth. What could happen then? First, we'd have to throw out much of modern physics and we will have to learn them again. For the sun, 300,000 times heavier than Earth, that's really heavy. 3,000 times heavier than Earth. To obvious, the laws of gravity will need rewriting. Gravity tells us that objects are pulled toward one another depending on their masses. So if our Earth don't have gravity, we will be floating. Will be massive, more massive than the sun itself, or for physics to act totally differently. Let's assume we have a magical and we get Earth that massive. So if the sun wants to orbit the Earth needs to have like really strong. But if the sun was small and the Earth was big, like this, if the sun had to orbit around the Earth, it should be smaller than the Earth. Then we won't have any sunlight anymore. The sun will revolve around us, and maybe in the middle of the Earth we'll have light. But if the Earth wants to be the sun, it should have the masses that the sun had. So it could be big like that. Then the sun itself will freeze. So let's just think like we have some magical and we give Earth that kind of masses. What would life be like now? So we have given Earth that masses and now Earth was really big and now Earth was the center of the solar system. Now what would life in the Earth would be like? A super heavy Earth would have extreme gravity, crushing everything that tried to stand up. Humans were involved to be shorter, stronger, and stockier just to survive the pull. Because if the Earth had so much pull, it was really strong, it had a lot of masses and gravity. Humans will be shorter and they need to be stronger and stockier so they could afford that gravity. Because if gravity was really large, it would pull things even over. And we should be really strong so we could lift things up. Maybe even a small thing will need 10 men to hold it. That will not that won't make sense, but let's just come imagine it. So a super heavy earth crushing everything that tried to stand up. So now maybe people will be like this, because the gravity, maybe they will be like this. Ho ho ho, I am an old lady. Maybe they will be like that. Everyone will now have the kind of lung like this because the earth masses was too big. Try to stand up. And stuck here just to survive the pool. Birds might never fly again. Even birds have hollow bones and they have wings so they can fly. But now earth masses was really big, so they maybe the bone wouldn't be hollow anymore. And trees couldn't grow because of the masses of the earth. If they are trying to grow tall, they will collapse because the earth masses will pull them off under their own weight. Walking will feel like wading through syrup. Syrup is if you can walk through syrup, if you're so tiny and you can walk through syrup, you know that syrup was kind of really sticky and it was really hard to stand up because it was sticky. And it was really hard to go through wading through syrup. It would be a planet of cave, whale, and thick bone creatures. Many thick bone or hollow bone could be great. If the bird have hollow bone, and now the mass is big, so maybe it can just walk, but it can jump because the earth mass was really big. Okay, and thick bone creature adapted to pressure and heat. That much of gravity would also squeeze Earth's core, making volcano eruption. So now there's a lot of volcanoes. Remember the time that there was still dinosaur? Because then I don't know why, but a kind of big rocks or space fell down and make the Earth have the volcanoes. And the fake volcano smoke was really tall, but it cannot tall that high to hit over the sun. It cannot be the sky high. That was impossible. But I don't know, but they told that. And then it was go to freezing times. The time that there's no sun was freeze. What do we call it? Freezing time. Not freezing time. It's kind of sound weird, but I don't know. But then there are the dinosaurs because they are really cold and they don't have anything to eat and they are extinct. That's how. And it will now if the top pressure and heat, that much gravity will also squeeze our core, making volcano will erupt, and a lot of volcano will make a lot of smoke. So maybe we could get smoke, and not really. I don't think it would really heat the sun because the smoke will stay there for a really long time, enough for the dinosaur to be extinct and for common. The surface might be a mix of molten lava, plains, and jagged mountains. A blue marble will look more like hard air scape. And now the sun was really small, so maybe they don't really need to have the sun because the sun was now revolving around this earth. So if the earth revolved around the sun, and it was maybe it was in the middle, and or not. So if the sun revolved around Earth, maybe it will also be in the middle too. So the only place that was warm was in the middle of the Earth. This part. Wait. But this may glow. I don't know who put it back, but it was not really right. It was upside down. Earth should be like this. Oops. I don't know anything, but I can fix it. I know I can fix it. First, I put this in here. Put this part in here. Wait, that's harder than I think. So, here, put it here. Here, this was the correct Earth. So now the only place that was shining was this part. This in the middle part. So that was the only place that was shining. Well, it was really easy to be getting down off the ball. So that is why you don't really want the sun to revolve around the Earth. So thank you for listening. That is the end today. What if the sun revolves around the Earth? So you don't really want the sun to revolve around the Earth, but the Earth will change and our world will change too. Maybe in the middle has some volcano, so it will be super hot. But in the outside, maybe it will be cold. or not. So thank you for seeing. Bye. See you again. Bye bye.